Oh shit! I found a segment from Fox News. This is about to be fucking crazy. What we are seeing right now, and I'm still wrapping my mind around the consequences of this. And I'm gonna show you guys some reactions from anti-imperialists. We're gonna take a look at X. I'm gonna show you guys what a lot of people are saying. We're gonna go through a lot of this. So let's see their unhinged reaction. I'm literally gonna hear this for the first time. I'm scared. Let's listen.
And good evening. I'm Trace Gallagher. It's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, 7 o'clock here in Los Angeles. And this is a breaking news edition of Fox News at Night. There are reports coming in that Israel has now begun its highly anticipated retaliatory strikes against Iran. Now, we are tracking these developments, and we are hearing that explosions have been heard over Iran proper, as well as in southern Syria, and explosions heard above Iraq. We do not know if any areas of Iraq were hit. We think there were some explosions in southern Syria, and there are reports of possibility of strikes in southern Iran near the Natanz and the Fordow nuclear facilities. Remember, these are the facilities that are.
You guys, if you guys see my Nick at Night last night, you guys saw how I covered how Fox News was all for this. Like that, they was pushing for retaliation immediately and as hard as possible. So Fox News is going to be like they have been for the last few days and forever, but even more so, even more insufferable. Fox News is calling for your sons and daughters to die in war. They are calling for the global working class to be destroyed with the increase in oil prices that is destined to happen in the result of this conflict. Anyway, let's watch this because I'm watching this for the first time too. So let's watch this. I'm curious what they say.
To be places that you can produce nuclear weapons. They also have a uranium conversion facility in Isfahan. And this is also in southern Iran. And there are reports that there have been airstrikes in that area as well. Let's get live on the ground now to Tel Aviv. That's where Trey Yinks joins us live. Trey, what are you hearing? What are we learning?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, hey, Trace, good
he
evening.
bought
Right
him
now we are
Israeli.
following
This is an Israeli propagandist from Tel Aviv. Fuck. These people are traitors, man. You have Israel, a terrorist state, violating international law, plunging us into global war, and you bring on this Israeli terrorist scum, this colonizer scumbag? There's going to be a reckoning, man. If we can fucking win this battle, there's going to be a reckoning for these Confederate-level traitors in AIPAC and these Zionists. I am not letting my boot off their neck for the rest of my fucking life. And you guys shouldn't either. You guys saw what the fuck is happening at Columbia. They're ruining young people's life for being against genocide and protesting power. Our government was completely hijacked by the Israeli scum, and during breaking news segments, their first reaction is to bring on the Israeli scumbags. I got the same position as George Galloway right now. I don't recognize Israel. I don't debate Israelis. They are terrorists. But let's continue.
Yeah, hey, Trace, good evening. Right now we are following reports out of the region of airstrikes taking place in Iran, Iraq, and Syria. The Israelis at this moment have not confirmed that this is the retaliation to that massive Iranian drone and missile attack last weekend. But here's what we know.
My hotspot shit is going crazy. My hotspot group chat is going crazy. Let me read this. Breaking Iran. Now, let me put this on the screen. You guys know this is a live coverage, so live coverages are not planned. I'm going through this information as I get it. Iran activates air defense system after attack by Israel, protects nuclear facilities in Isfahan. IRGC says several drones were shot down and they will counter by attacking Israel's nuclear facilities. So it's on, bro. It's on. Holy shit, dude. This shit is moving so fast, bro. What? Fuck. What the fuck? Bro, fuck is... You guys realize this is why all the serious anti-imperialists had their eyes on Israel. All the people that are like, man, I should have been covering Israel more. Now you guys see why I've been covering Israel as my primary issue for years. For years now. The Vanguard and all these shit-lib channels accuse me of using Palestine as a reason to cancel their favorite politicians. I used it to cancel John Fetterman. And it was like, oh my God, you guys care too much about Palestine. You guys are one issue. I questioned and grilled Marianne Williamson over this. Now you guys see why I cared about this shit? Do you guys understand what the hell is going on? Anyone who was anti-imperialist, they had their eyes on Israel because we knew these psychopaths was going to start a global war. This is going to fuck us. This is not good. War is not good. Even though I am unapologetic and I want to see Israel, I gotta be careful. I'm on YouTube. I think Israel deserves everything coming to them. Let's say that for the sake of being on YouTube. Despite that, man, this shit is catastrophic. I said this on X. Actually, I want to see how that tweet is doing. I said this on X just before I went live. If you have family in the military, you have family that want to join the military, get them the fuck out right now, or I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you complain about your dead family members in the military. You guys, they are willing to sacrifice. If you're a soldier in the military, get the fuck out. It's not honorable to join this violent institution simply because you want free education and a few perks. The era where we pretend that becoming a United States veteran and being in service in the United States military, serving this psychotic ruling class, you gotta know, willingly sign up to serve this psychotic ruling class that we have right now is literally an insane decision to make. Especially as they are preparing this global war. And you have Republicans right now, and Fox News, I promise you, they're right now, they're all for it. Let's support Israel for this war. Let's start this nuclear conflict that's gonna get many soldiers killed. You guys are signing up to die for the ruling class? The fuck is wrong with you people? This devil's bargain you guys make, people like, oh man, come on, Nick. You understand, they're just doing it for education. Fuck you. Selling out the global working class and humanity so you can get free healthcare and taking shortcuts is not honorable. And I'm tired of people pretending otherwise. Get your family the fuck out of the military. Convince everyone to leave the military right now or you're complicit. And yeah, I see people say this all the time. I got a ton of veterans who watch my show. Damn, this comment section moving so damn fast. Holy shit. How many people y'all watching? Bro, you guys see my rants against the military? Bro, I get veterans love my rants against the military more than most people do. There's the military, the career military people are scum. But most veterans are like, most of the veterans who watch RBN, they know I'm right about this shit. When I have these tweets that piss off these career military psyop people, they know the veterans on the ground, they know I'm right. Fuck them. There is nothing honorable about being career military. You selling out the global working class to work for the most criminal, violent cabal we've seen in modern history. For what? Because so you get a free education. You want free healthcare instead of engaging in revolution and taking it for the ruling class. You decide to be their fucking lapdog. The peace movement has failed in the West. It failed in the West because people fucking glorify these imperialists in the military. We need to stop normalizing that shit. That's why the left anti-war movement has failed. We had an anti-war movement in the West for decades. What war we stopped? We haven't stopped war because there are people anti-war who worship the military. That's fucking contradictory. You have people who worship the military, and then you have people who demonize our enemy. People like Dr. Cornball West. You have Bernie Sanders, social democrats, democratic socialists. These scum, they demonize Russia. They demonize Iran. They demonize China. They demonize Nicolas Maduro. And then they say, I think war is bad. You undermine your message. Why you guys think the anti-war movement in the West failed? It's literally, I need to get back on track. But by reaffirming their talking points, by worshiping the military, by refusing to humanize our enemy, humanizing Putin, humanizing Xi Jinping, and a lot of people don't know. Like I didn't have beef with Cornball West. I didn't have heat with Cornball West until he called us out. He called us Jimmy Dore adjacent because we called him out for bootlicking Alexei Navalny, and he said that people who back up and is soft on Putin. He said people who soft on Putin is on the Jimmy Dore plantation. Colonized mind, brother. A peace activist that affirms the talking points of the CIA. You guys understand in Russia, they have all the policies that social democrats have failed to get in this country. You know all the social democrat policies that you guys tried to accomplish in this country? Socialized medicine, they have in Russia. They got healthcare. They have paid maternity leave in healthcare in Russia. They get at least 180 days paid maternity leave in Russia. They have a family. They get healthcare sponsored by the government. Everything that you guys are asking for, they have in Russia. But you guys want us to have Putin derangement syndrome? This is the failure of the Western left that led to these wars. All right, I'll get back to you. I'm ranting now. I need to probably sign off because it's actually late here. So let's cover some more Iran stuff. I'll read some super chats and I'll get back on track. Because I know you guys probably want to hear some news. Let's finish the Fox News segment. Sorry, this is a live segment. What's popping? Let's go. Hold up. I was just about to say that I'm here doing this shit on my own. I produce my own shows, Nick at Night. You guys know how to jump on. We got my brother JB. What's popping, brother? What's popping? Our intellect JB fine in the house.
I leave your ass for 1 second. 1 second. And then Israel decides to do this?
I'm sorry,
bro. In the world? What in the hell? I had to come. Like, I can't be on very long because I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it's late.
But my dude, what in the world happened? Because look, last time I checked, what Iran did was just symbolic to basically say, I think it was Scott Ritter who said that, look, Iran could have did a whole lot worse. But what they did was measure just to share, this is what we could do if we really wanted to. So pump your brakes. And now look at it. And now Israel's got their tighty whities on a bunch trying to go after Iran now.
Yeah, bro, they attacked Iran, Iraq, and Syria. And you have Zionists and these Israeli scum that are still pretending to be the victims in this. You have the UN and the Biden administration that condemned Iran for literally engaging in their right as laid out as in Article 51 in the UN to retaliate against the strike on their sovereignty when Israel attacked their Iranian embassy. That's laid out legally in their right. Israel violated international law multiple times, but not only that, it did it in the most disgusting, insane way, attacking an embassy, something that is considered off limits no matter what. Even the United States accept in what they claimed is accidents, avoid doing that stuff. Israel did it on purpose. Meanwhile, the media in our country pretending that Israel didn't try to escalate this conflict, that they're somehow the victims of this conflict using these made-up Iranian proxies. You talked to Richard Meadors. Richard Meadors made this great point, and I highly agree with it. We should not set this talking point of Iranian proxies. These people work on their own, my brothers. Mm-hmm. So you have people in Syria that attack United States soldiers because they're occupying their country illegally, fam. Those people in Syria don't need the government of Iran to tell them to attack United States soldiers that are illegally occupying our country. Do you understand? Our media tells us that the reason why United States soldiers are being attacked in Syria is because they got direction from Iran, as if people need a fucking motivation to attack people invading their sovereignty. And I'll make the example, and I'll pass right to you, JB. Imagine if you had Chinese soldiers walking in fucking Times Square in New York. Man, they just walking in Main Street. You had Chinese soldiers just occupying Main Street. Do you think the United States would need the UK to tell us to retaliate? Go ahead, JB.
Here's the crazy part. The question is, do occupied people have the right to resist or not? Because if an occupied people have a right to resist, Palestinians have a right to resist, Syrians have a right to resist, Iranians have a right to resist. Hell, look, indigenous Americans have a right to resist, right? So with that being said, then why in the world are we constantly, well, not we, but why is these Western governments constantly going into these countries and messing with people? And people say, well, they struck us. Well, who struck first? Right? The thing is that ultimately, I think there was, oh man, I forgot this. I don't want to mess up this quote, but it was a quote that was said by somebody that said, until Israel existed, we had no enemies in the Middle East. And people talk about, oh my God, Iran's such a dictatorship. Well, first of all, Iran wouldn't be what it is today if the United States didn't do what it did to Mohammed Mossadegh when they actually took him out and replaced him with the Shah.
Yes,
so,
sir, JB.
So everything that has happening is really chickens coming home to roost. That's one of the beautiful things about what Malcolm X said. Chickens coming home to roost. And yet still, they exercise restraint when it comes to the United States and the West. And yet, what is going on now? Now, chickens come home to roost, and now they want to throw, the West wants to throw stones and then hide their hands. And this is what the biggest issue is. And this is some of the points that you're pointing out, which I appreciate, is that the West can no longer hide its hands because everybody else is watching the West in 4K. We see that crap. So we're like, no. We see what you're doing now. And so guess what? When the report came out, where there are millions of tons of liquefied natural gas under Gaza, the Ben Gurion Canal that they're trying to build through Gaza, the oil fields that are off the coast of, Palestine, especially in Gaza and the West Bank, we see what they're doing. We know that this is all imperialism. We're following the money just like they are. And so now they're mad because they can no longer hide and say, well, we're doing it to spread democracy. Well, we're doing it because we want to have freedom around the world. No, you don't. You don't want freedom. You want oil. That's basically what it is.
Our brother, I told you guys many times before, unapologetic. JB is so fucking slept on. If you guys haven't subscribed to JB channel, what are you doing, my friend? What are you doing? What like I said, you like when it comes to substance, there's no more substance channel than JB Font on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to JB Font channel if you haven't already. My dear brother, I love your analysis so much, man. Like I literally can't even follow that with anything better than that. And this stream, feel free to come and go as you free, JB. This will be late at night tonight. I'm probably definitely gonna keep this one an hour, maybe like hour 1:15 at most today. I'm gonna definitely get through the Fox. And I'm probably gonna watch another. Like I'm gonna try and find another Fox News video. I'm gonna see what they're fucking saying. I'm also gonna show you guys some base takes as well, so we're not just watching establishment stuff. I'm very scared because you guys saw what happened on Saturday. Like, I'm very worried about using like links from X and Twitter, and not mainstream sources. So for this stream, I'm trying to just stick to mainstream sources because RBN is we are under a microscope. You guys know this. People follow RBN for a long time. I had a stream that was on it was literally set to hit 100,000 views, like 26,000 views. They pulled it. So I'm gonna be as careful as possible. So everyone who watches this stream, when it eventually get pulled, you gotta know that YouTube is fucking with us because we are literally showing you guys shit. I had that was a Jerusalem Times article that was just up, my friends. I was reading CNN as well, so there's literally gonna be no excuse for YouTube to pull the stream this time. So we made it 9 seconds in this. Actually, before I get back into it, I'm gonna read some super chats before I get buried. I just see a few here, so I'm gonna read a few super chats before I move on. I appreciate all the support. This is apparently a thing now. Nick at Night breaking news. Shit, I might well turn that to a thing. Hey, Aaron, man. Aaron, my friend, can we get a thumbnail? Can we get a graphic for that? I think that's gonna be my thumbnail I'm gonna use for these breaking lives. I like that messaging or ARJ. Nick at Night breaking news. That's a thing now, apparently. Thank you, ARJ, for the super chat. Thanks for the coverage. Crazy times. Appreciate your voice. I appreciate that as well. And thank you for $5. KDK7. This should be on Rumble too. Do Dissonance and Jimmy get bigger live numbers over there. My Rumble, this is why CJ helped me set up Rumble. Whenever I set up Rumble, that shit don't work. I don't know why. Like I tried to set up Rumble on Saturday, that shit didn't work. I tried to set up on Wednesday. For some reason, I must be doing something wrong, but we can talk about that later, JB, because I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing wrong. Yeah. Because I know you got set up separately. I tried to do that. It never fucking works. But yeah, we do good numbers on Rumble too. Like we got 3,100 people watching across all platforms right now. And we will be doing pretty well on Rumble. I don't think we're on Rumble right now. I'll read a few more super chats. Thanks for the $2 here. Israel retaliates. Iran attacks. Yep. The language they use. Nothing is an accident. We got another super sticker. And I'll read one more, and then I'll read some more super chats afterwards. So I appreciate the support, guys, for the live coverage. Once again, I was playing 2K with my brothers. Now I'm like, this shit is crazy. I'm glad I'm able to provide some information to our family at RBN. Then for $2, ARJ, up to 1K viewers on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. And let's go. Let's continue this video. I'm curious to see what this is. Some Israeli scum that they brought on. I'll go back a few seconds for context because I didn't play this in a while. Actually, yeah, I'll go back to here because there's a lot of introduction stuff. So let's watch it from here. I'll let it play. Feel free to interrupt anytime, JB. I just want to see how mainstream media is covering this right now.
In southern Iran, near the Natanz and the Fordo nuclear facilities. Remember, these are the facilities that are said to be places that you can produce nuclear weapons. They also have a uranium conversion facility in Isfahan. And this is also in southern Iran. And there are reports that there have been airstrikes in that area as well. Let's get live on the ground now to Tel Aviv. That's where Trey Yinks joins us live. Trey, what are you hearing? What are we learning?
Maybe you notice how the first instinct of Fox News, after Israel launched a highly illegal terrorist action that's going to start a global war, is to bring on a spokesperson from this terrorist regime. But I'll let it continue because I already made that point.
Yeah, hey, Trace, good evening. Right now, we are following reports out of the region of airstrikes taking place in Iran, Iraq, and Syria. The Israelis at this moment have not confirmed that this is the retaliation to that massive Iranian drone.
You see how Americans are trained? We don't know if the Israelis confirmed it. Why are you basing your coverage based on what the Israelis say? Nigga, if the Israelis said the sky is blue, I'd be questioning that. At this point,
it's like what police. I'm sorry, what people the local news ask what police think about what happens. Like they're always like police say or law enforcement says.
Absolutely,
and it's like, well, what does the community say? And they don't really get the word from the community.
Oh man, I have a hard time making it through this video, as you guys see. I haven't usually I watch the segments first before I show it, but this is a live coverage, so I'm seeing this for the first time. So you guys seeing how fast I get triggered by Fox News coverage.
And missile attack last weekend. But here's what we know. Some outlets citing American officials. And again, these are preliminary reports based on the information that we are gathering right now. We've reached out to Israeli defense officials and are waiting for comment. local media is reporting explosions in the Iranian city of Isfahan. Isfahan sits about 200 miles to the south of the Iranian capital of Tehran. At this location, there is an Iranian nuclear facility. There are also reports of activity at other locations across Iran.
I'm gonna just show this breaking news. Like, you guys know, this stream is all over the place. I'm showing you guys stuff as I find it, and I see a lot of people report on this. And this is why I was just talking about this in the beginning of the stream, man. We got to confirm this some more, but I'm seeing a lot of reporting. I see this is an account I trust a lot. My friend Monica. Israel attacked Iran, and within the hour, gas prices skyrocketed. Are you guys ready to pay for Zionist aggression?
But weren't they saying something like this? Well, we should be willing to pay more for gas just for freedom.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Wasn't that said for the Ukraine war?
Yeah, they was like, that's a worthwhile sacrifice. I specifically remember them making that argument. But are you guys ready to pay for Israel? All the American first people who bootleg Israel, you guys ready to pay for increased gas prices? So you guys can have your little pet fucking theocracy, apartheid state in the Middle East that doesn't have a legitimate right to exist. So I'm gonna get back to the video. I'm gonna be going back and forth because as these videos play, this is a good way to do my live stream. I'm gonna play these videos as to give you guys information and we can reply, but it also give me time to find other information for you guys. So let's continue watching this as I find you guys more information. Let's continue.
This is significant because remember, the initial reporting leading up to tonight had to do with what might be a limited Israeli response to this large-scale attack last weekend conducted by the Iranians. So in terms of the targets that were likely hit in any sort of strike and retaliation from the Israelis, you are looking at nuclear research facilities, additionally, any sort of IRGC locations across the Middle East in places like Syria and Iraq, and then Iranian-backed proxies across the region. And so Iran-backed Iraqi and Syrian Shia militias certainly would be on that target list for the Israelis. The Israelis looking to send a message to Iran, if this is confirmed that they are behind these strikes, not to ever attack directly from Iranian territory toward Israel, and also to ensure that they will keep control of their proxies across the region.
Bro, look at this insane shit. Bro, I don't know if you were watching this whole stream, JB, but I said earlier, Joe Biden is definitely going down as a bottom 5 president because he oversaw the complete collapse of the Middle East. He oversaw and sponsored the genocide. He lost Africa. He lost United States influence. He saw the rise of BRICS. And this is not even me speaking as a leftist, JB. Like, this is a neutral take. Like, even if you're an imperialist capitalist, you can say this, right? It's not even a take that had nothing to do with my politics. Now, look at this. The United States will continue to deploy sanctions to counter any further action by Iran. You guys see why Israel does this? This is a failure of the Biden administration. In fact, I can't even say it's a failure. This is by design at this point. I said this on Saturday. When Biden and the world condemns Iran for their retaliation, and when they say they're going to put sanctions on Iran, but they silent when Israel launched, that emboldens the terrorist Zionist regime. It makes it more likely that they will launch attacks that lead to global war. This analysis that the mainstream media is too dumb to articulate is why people, historians, and people outside the United States especially, is going to view Biden easily as a bottom 5 president when this is all said and done. The way that the ruling class is going to kill us. But, Jamie, I think you want to chime in. Feel free. And I'm going to see if I can find another more recent Fox News video. Go ahead.
Well, you're basically speaking to the point. And so, parents out there, you ever go to school and you see a bad behind kid, right? And this kid, no matter what they do, they're always into something bad. And then you find their parents. And you think their parents are going to reprimand the kid once they find out the kid's doing something bad. But then you find out the parents are worse than the kid. This is Israel and the United States. Israel is the bad little kid that is beating up on other, even smaller kids. And then the parents are the ones that are enabling the little kid to keep doing what it's doing.
This is well said.
This is what it is. And so do you blame the kid or do you blame the parents? Me, I blame both. So that's how I feel.
The Nick and JB show is back, man. This is I couldn't ask for a better time for you to crash my show. You guys know JB show on Sunday. You guys know I'm gonna crash that show here very soon. But you know when we crash each other's show, magic happens. Magic happens when we crash each other's.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo, bro. Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
So we watched a little bit of Fox News. We don't have to finish all of the Fox News segment. This video from MSNBC dropped 9 minutes ago. So this shit is fresh out the press. And this is Lawrence O'Donnell. So you know this is gonna be some neocon shit. You guys see he was just talking about the Trump trial, bro. These corporate media is unbearable with this Trump trial. Who gives a fuck? Like you guys see, he's like, all right, god damn it, I actually gotta cover something serious. Oh man, come on, man. I wanted to be on serious, man. God damn it. Now I gotta actually cover real news. How do people watch this shit, bro?
Gotta be an anchor for a living.
But let's see how he covers some real news for the first time probably all year.
We are monitoring breaking news in Iran. For more, we're going to be joined now by NBC News, Pentagon, and National Security correspondent Courtney Cooley. Courtney, what do we have?
So, Lawrence, there has been some breaking news all this evening that we've been trying to get more detail on. Here's what we know so far. According to Iran's semi-official state media, that's Fars, they are saying that there have been a series of explosions in Iran, in a city called Isfahan. Now, why a lot of our viewers may have heard of that city is because it's where some of Iran's critical nuclear infrastructure exists. But so far, it seems that these explosions are not specifically in Isfahan, where the nuclear facility is, but are nearby. Now, the U.S. officials are not saying anything.
You want to know my first reaction seeing this? And this is, maybe I'm overthinking this in some ways, but this shows, like, you guys see how the neutral tone in her voice? I'm gonna just talk about the facts as a matter of where's the mention of the fact that the Israeli regime, the country that we support, that we claim is a peace-loving country, just committed an act that may plunge us into global war. Meanwhile, she's talking like she's reading the fucking weather. You guys see how they set the tone? You guys see why I don't do that? They try to set your tone to be neutral on this stuff. What Israel did will be historic and will be studied forever. It's an insane action. Meanwhile, she's talking like she's fucking covering a local sporting event. No emotion, no giving a fuck. But go ahead, JB. I think that's that. And once again, I may or may not be overthinking this, but I think this is one of the reasons why Americans are programmed not to care about this stuff. When you have these people just talking about crazy stuff, like it's not a big deal. This is a big deal, my friend. Go ahead, JB. I know you want to chime in.
Well, remember that Vox article that brought out about what they're told at the New York Times to not invoke any emotion when it comes to whatever they're talking about, what's going on in Gaza, while Israel, is doing what it's doing there. So, of course, then they're not going to have as much seriousness. It's more going to be almost like a glee when Israel actually does any type of military action, because they want it to be seen as a positive thing. They want it to be seen as a good thing. And, and unfortunately, this young woman here that's on the screen, she is basically coached into being that way, particularly because of the powers that be at MSNBC. This would be the same way at places like CNN and CBS and ABC. They are, coached into being more gleeful because it's the West. It's the freedom fighters. To them, that's the good guys. So therefore, if the good guys are actually attacking, then you can be a little bit more happy. You can be a little bit more jumpy and jovial and things like that. But when it's Iran or it's Palestinian resistance, then you have to be very somber and serious and talk about it just like this. Because if you don't, then they will think that you're okay with what these horrible regimes are doing, right? And see how I just did it? the thing is that that's what they have to do in order to maintain their position, their job at these really state-sanctioned medias, even though it's not considered state-sanctioned, you know, in their terms. It's still Western propaganda. So it just goes to show that's how they, yeah.
So I'm gonna watch some more of this. We're probably gonna wrap up in another 10 minutes or so. I want to make this a 1 hour update. There's gonna be a lot of cover on this in the following live streams. So let's watch some more of this report. As this report goes on, I'm gonna bring up some breaking news I think is important for you guys. But I think it's important to show you guys how the establishment is covering this attack that we know is bullshit. I see a lot of people saying that Iran is saying that this attack wasn't as successful as Israel and the West is painting it as, showing that the ineffectiveness of Israeli media. But we're in the very early stages of the attack, and there are a lot of fog going around right now. So I see a lot of reports that Israel just kind of was flailing, attacking targets blindly because they don't care about civilian deaths. That they didn't actually accomplish their objectives. But I try to find as much information for you guys as I can as we get to the last part of this live stream.
Infrastructure exists, but so far it seems that these explosions are not specifically in Isfahan where the nuclear facility is, but are nearby. Now, the U.S. officials are not saying anything about this. Neither are Israeli officials. But of course, this all comes when there has been this back and forth.
You know, they say U.S. officials not saying anything about this. You know, Biden and his team was like, fuck! Fuck! Now, there's two ways you can read this. And I have two conflicting takes. There's the take that I think is the funnier take, which is more entertaining to make, that Biden is weak. His weakness and his failure of foreign policy led to this. Then there's the other take that I think is also very plausible, because we all know that Biden always wanted this war. And I can't sleep on that take either. That Biden probably wanted this to happen. And they are obviously saying to the media, like, oh no, Israel, don't attack Iran. That would be a shame if we get dragged into this war. So I'm going to ask the chat, what take do you guys think is more accurate? I literally don't know which one is true. I think there's the funny take that Biden's weak, but then there's this one that I think Biden wants this war. So let me know what you think in the chat. I will be reading it. So let's continue the video.
Between Iran and Israel and threats from both sides. Now, of course, on April 1st, the Israeli military struck a site in Damascus, which was later determined to be some sort of a consular site, killing a number of senior Iranian officials, including a senior general in the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Of course, we know, Lawrence, that last weekend, Iran retaliated with pretty great force, about 300 projectiles, missiles, and drones.
I'm sorry, I let it play, but you guys see the propaganda there, right? I was shocked at how restrained Iran was. I didn't give them enough credit on this show. I thought this shit was going to pop off. And then I was surprised at how restrained it is. But you guys see how when they were talking about Israel attack, they said, oh, it's minimal force. But then when they talk about Iran, the extreme attack. I'll let it continue.
Most of which were shot down. But Israel again vowed to respond. Now, among the possible response options that we have been hearing about this week that Israel briefed the U.S. on ahead of the strikes last weekend was the possibility of some sort of a response inside Iran, but also the possibility of strikes against proxy forces and against Iranian facilities outside of Iran. There are also some reports tonight of explosions in Syria and in Iraq, but I really have to stress
you guys see. I'm interested in seeing what you're going to say next year to protect Israel here. But you know the story, how it's supposed to be reported? Israel launched attacks on Iran, Syria, and Iraq. You guys see how she's trying to slip the last two in? You guys see how Israel becomes way more unhinged when you report it in an accurate way? She's like, oh, well, I just have to add. I just got to mention how they also attacked Iraq and Syria too. Bitch, you're not sneaky. What the fuck you just say? I need to stop cussing. But anyway, let's get back to the show.
proxy forces and against Iranian facilities outside of Iran. There are also some reports tonight of explosions in Syria and in Iraq. But I really have to stress at this point, we do not have any confirmation who was behind any of these explosions, these possible strikes.
Come on, man. Come on. I'm struggling here, JB. Okay, we got reports that there's explosions in Iraq and Syria. Who could have done that? We don't know who could have done that. They're so ridiculous. But we almost done. I'm just curious here, maybe another minute or two.
Other than to say, everyone has really been waiting on edge to see if Israel would respond to this massive volley of strikes that they took against Israel, that Iran took against Israel on Saturday, Lawrence.
And Courtney, this is ahead of where our information is now, but a few days from now, or whatever amount of time it takes, when would we have, or could we have, an accurate assessment, damage assessment of what might have actually occurred tonight?
You know what that question really means, JB? When will we get the proper memo on how to properly spin this story for the empire? You guys see how clueless these people are? Guys, I went on a rant for damn near 40 minutes this stream, just on top of my head, unprepared, out of my bed. Only thing I did was put on a striped shirt and comb my hair. And I can do an analysis of what I think. You guys see how these talking heads on corporate media like, I don't know what talking points. We didn't get fed any talking points. We don't have any memos. We don't know what the military-industrial complex wanted to say. Hey, do you have any information on what we should say about this? You guys see how many people can't think for themselves? That's how I interpret that question. These are all live interpretations. I may be on and off, but that's my interpretation. Listen to the question again. I think this reveals how much they are robots. And then I'm gonna read some super chats and I'm gonna see if I can get some more live. For the last part of the stream, I'll show you guys live X updates. I'm very scared to do that, but I'm gonna do that to wrap the stream up. So let's hear a response to this ridiculous question, I think.
But a few days from now, or whatever amount of time it takes, when would we have, or could we have, an accurate assessment, damage assessment of what might have actually occurred tonight?
So we're already seeing, frankly, some social media video of explosions over the skies in Isfahan. There's some things that are starting to come out from both Iraq and Syria. So we may get a better sense of that in the next day or so. It's about daylight in all three locations right now, Friday morning. So we may get a sense of that. The real question, though, is will we get any attribution to this? Now, keep in mind, there's a widespread knowledge that Israel has taken a number of strikes inside Syria in recent years, specifically usually going after Lebanese Hezbollah, going after shipments of component parts, advanced missile parts that Iran ships to Hezbollah in Syria. And they very rarely, if ever, acknowledge any of those strikes. It would not surprise me if we don't have any statement of attribution for who is behind these. Except,
all right, this is a waste of our time now. I feel like I've seen anything that I want to see on this. JB, you have anything you want to add to what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just look up. I'm gonna see to wrap the stream up. I'm gonna read super chats, and I'm interested in seeing any new live updates from my feed that I follow. So, JB, anything else you want to add before I try to find some more final updates for you guys as we begin to wrap up?
Yeah, as far as as far as Iran is concerned, what they did was a measured attack last time. If Israel is escalating this, you have a nation that has nuclear capabilities versus another nation that has nuclear capabilities. This isn't a Tyson versus Holyfield fight, but this is a Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight. Meaning, you don't have the heavyweights fighting. You may have the welterweights fighting, but you have very powerful welterweights that are fighting each other that could lead into the heavyweights fighting each other. And so the issue is that the blowback for this is that this is constant. Floyd Mayweather, man, come on now. I don't follow sports either, but I know exactly who's who. Come on, stay up. So, but that's basically meaning that we're being pulled into this new world war by means of the welterweights, Israel, Iran, because we all know who is going to back Iran, right? Most likely it's going to be Russia, China. They're going to be the ones that's going to back Iran, and then of course the United States. The G7 pretty much are going to be backing Israel, and so you're going to have two different fashioning sides. One side, yes, constant Israel could be Mayweather, because I'll say that, because Mayweather is also becoming a Zionist tool himself. But the thing I'm mostly focused on is the fact that you have these lower level nuclear powers that are fighting against one another. That's going to bring in the larger nuclear powers to war against each other. And another point that I wanted to bring out into your question to the chat that you posted, Nick, was that what is Biden's what is his motivations for this happening? Is he upset that this happened and that he can't keep a leash on Netanyahu? Or is he happy that this happened and that Israel is doing the dirty work that the United States doesn't have to directly do? And then the United States can say, hey, it's Israel doing it. It's not us. Because ultimately, the United States would want, if Israel wasn't there, the United States would be the ones doing what they're doing, what Israel's doing to Iran right now. But because they have that attack dog in the Middle East, Israel is being the one that's doing the attacking instead of the United States. So the United States is, I would beg that Biden is actually pleased with it, because he could use, just like Ukraine, he could use the lives of Israeli soldiers as cannon fodder instead of the ones here. So therefore, it's not as politically dangerous for him sending our young people overseas to fight the war. He's just can send Israeli lives overseas, and plus they're conscripted anyway. They have to go. So
well said, JB. And I'm gonna show you guys that this is a very important update here, because there's a information war going on right now, and I'm glad my brother's hotspot. I was looking at the DM here because you guys saw the corporate media coverage. I showed you guys on Fox News. I showed you guys Fox News and MSNBC that's reporting on Israeli attacks, missile site hit in Iran. You also have U.S. officials that's confirming that Israeli missiles hit sites in Iran. But you guys want to know what's interesting that I just found? I'll tell you guys in this live stream in the fog of war. In Iran, the story is completely different. So we know that Israel launched attack in Syria and Iraq. That's confirmed. You have U.S. officials that are saying that Israel launched the missile attacks on Tehran. So what happened?